According to some whiskey loving Kiwi, you only need 5 whiskies to cover the whole spectrum of whiskey flavours, and you know something? He might be right. He has even started the snowball with a mighty whiskey challenge which has landed in my small hands. That is, picking one whiskey for each category of flavours: fruit and floral, rich and spiced, peat and smoke, wood and grain, heavy funk. So join me, Geoff Whiskey, slapping bottles and spreading the joy of whiskey, and with that, let's crack on.
Geoff Whiskey.
When I saw I got nominated for this, I jumped straight on. My shirt's not ironed, it's in the middle of the night, but I was too pumped to not dive in.
Damn, son, you look a mess.
I think I'm the 4th tuber to have been hit with this challenge, starting with First Fill Whiskey, but we'll get back to him, then moving on to my arch rival, the other Geoff at G Whiskey, then to the brilliant channel hosted by possibly the most handsome man on Whiskey Tube, Ash from Whiskey Wars. After you've watched my picks a good 3-4 times, make sure to go and watch their choices. Phil launched this alongside his awesome poster.
This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
So really, this is just a great marketing tool to sell his stuff. Like, what a sellout. Oh, nearly knocked my drink over. Luckily I have these damn good coasters. Jokes aside, the artwork is an awesome whiskey tool. I'm just now waiting to receive my free one. Only fair after guiding him around London, carrying his bags and being his date at the International Wine and Spirits Awards. It was like a Pretty Woman situation. But either way, let's dive into this flavour journey, going to one of my favourite styles, fruit and floral. A tough one to pick, gentler, softer, often more spirit-led than cask-driven. It certainly was the hardest for me to select one, so of course there'll be a couple of runners-up.
Bending the rules a little.
Firstly, the Glenlivet 12 licensed dram. I certainly have a soft spot for the distillery, and this shows how amazing the spirit sings at a higher ABV. This 48% non-chill fruited is a real fresh fruit bomb. From apples to red berries and strawberries and walnuts. This has been matured in First Fill X Bourbon and First Fill European Oak to just great effect. Next, we're going from Scotland to Japan with this delight. Hibiki Harmony, a well and truly balanced blend which is flowing with wildflowers, rosewater, Turkish delight and sandalwood. I'll keep saying that this is the whiskey version of Hugo Boss aftershave. Melon, vanilla, orange and a little bit of pepper on the palate. This is a beauty. It was even more so a few years back before the price ramped up by a good 25% in some places. So bringing me down to my final pick, my selection for a fruit and floral, it's got to be Deanston 18, one of the best value 18-year-olds on the market. That is a weird sentence to say. Don't take that out of context. This fully natural release is far from run-of-the-mill and to me super sentimental. This was the bottle that I cheers the birth of my daughter, so now I've had to get my second bottle ready for little one number 2. Does that mean I can only have Deanston 18 when I have a child? There goes the value. The nose is orange sweetness and a little musty. Banana bread and honey and oats with grass as well. Like, smell grass. It's a good smell.
I ate some grass. I used my hand to wipe my tears.
The palate true is so inviting. Crispy green apples, waxy fruit, soft spice and pears. Yeah, it slaps. Moving on to rich and spice. Here tends to be your sherry bombs, your dried fruits, chocolate, syrup and spice and everything nice. Those super sherry drams tend not to be my jam, but don't worry, I've got plenty for this category. Coming in first is an American single malt which is spectacular. Westland American Oak, thoughtfully made, all natural and released at 46% ABV. This is a chocolate and wood spice bomb. From rich chocolate, dry oak and custard on the nose through to a wash of coffee, cinnamon, honey roasted nuts and just amazing stuff. Call me Pitbull because I'm still going worldwide. The next runner up would be an Irish, a pricey one at that. Redbreast 18. Redbreast certainly was an early love of my whiskey journey, and this just has it all. Did I just say journey?
Take the journey to your soul.
Hazelnuts and chocolate spread, fistfuls of tropical fruit and shortbread, and a flood of cinnamon and nutmeg and just all of it. Then in contrary to what I said earlier, my pick is a bit of a sherry banger. Turntable Bittersweet Symphony. I know I chat a lot about this brilliant blending brand, and for me this is still my highlight from the range. So with full transparency, this is made up of, let me check my notes, 26% Teaneck Oloroso Butt, 31% Balmaic PX Puncheon, 16% Balladinock and Manickmore from a first fill bourbon barrel, and 22% North British grain from virgin oak barrel. How many names did I butcher then? From sweet and vibrant orange to bitter dark chocolate, malt, toffee, marmalade, this has got it all. Moving on to one of the most loved flavours in the Scotch world, we're talking Peat and Smoke. This runner-up certainly dips its toe in the previous category as well. Glasgow 1770 peated PX Sherry Cask, the No Nonsense Whiskey limited release.
Sounds amazing.
Matured in virgin American white oak and finished in PX Sherry, this is a beast. Lashings of rich sweet peat with so many barbecue notes, it's unreal. A gut punch of grilled pineapple, bacon frazzle, warm glazed ham, and just an absolute smoky beast. And it just sings at 60.1% ABV. So moving on to a peated staple for many, the Ardbeg Ugadal. I've spoken at length about this bottle, not only on my channel but also on the Whiskey Vault channel. This is well loved for a reason. Smoky, briny, meaty, and I have to describe it as dark purple, as that is what's in my head. The cult of Ardbeg may have dwindled slightly, but this firm favourite always impresses when it comes out. The Freud 10 Cherrick was also going to be included in this running, but I couldn't find it amongst the messy shelves. So in a tough category, it's hard to select a winner. I'm going fully the other side of the peat train to the drier, crispier, and I want to say cleaner smoke, which is a bottle I constantly harp on about. The Whiskey Baron Stoischer. This 3-year-old release from the independent bottler just blows me away every time. Chalky, minerally, sweet, fresh, and still fantastically smoky. Stoischer is a Boona Harbin release, and this vatting is of an older bourbon barrel and a 3-year-old sherry butt, and it's just beautifully balanced, powerful, and just a damn good dram. I've got a full replacement behind me, and I'm still tempted to buy another.
Spectacular, give me 14 of them right now.
Really?
This is a lot of whiskey to cover. I'm just going to go catch my breath. Feel free to hit like or subscribe if you want. Also, cheers to my awesome channel members. These folks support the channel. Legend, cool dude, troublemaker, legend. Cheers. Right, to the wood and grain range, which has almost become a bit of a default bourbon choice. Here you've got your woody, oaky, nutty cereal bottles, starting with a wheaty wood wonder. Maker's Mark 46. Now for me, this is on par with the standard Maker's Mark. It is easy, oaky, malty and vanilla ice cream. Lots of baking spices in there with just so much life and caramel in each sip. We're keeping on the woody bourbon train, and this one in fact could cross into the rich and spice section. It's great how the flavours can kind of go in these different routes and matching different notes and categories. But I'm talking this beast. Woodford Reserve, Masters Collection, the Sonomere Cutia finish. Definitely butchered that. A Kentucky straight bourbon finished in Pinot Noir barrels, and it's just a wood smeared in sour cherry jam. Really reminds me of our wedding cake, and that was my excuse for buying it. Normally it's got a steep price tag on it, and I just found it floating on Amazon for about 60 quid, so had to get it.
That would be rude not to.
Very oaky, sweet, savoury, and just a banger. Bags of vanilla cream, Victoria sponge cake, and just woody cake in a bottle. Yet somehow edging it out is my pick, and I'm going English. Of course, with launching the English Whiskey Awards, I had to represent somehow. Please note, English Whiskey Awards are fully independent and I don't even get to vote in it. But this, Cotswold Reserve, the label just flew off. It is the essence of malty, nutty, and just full of cereal. Mostly first fill ex bourbon with a touch of their red wine SDR casks. This could be now my favourite release from one of my favourite distilleries. Sadly, it's getting to the last few glasses now, but it is spectacular. It is fruity, appley, honeycomby, cornflakey, and just bags of vanilla. It's a delight and just a right slap of a whiskey. My feet are now currently surrounded by bottles.
I got no problem with that, Mr. Wallace.
And so to the final flavour section, we are talking heavy funk. And this ain't just for Toe Jam and Earl. That's an old Sega reference for the 4 other people who played that game. We're talking industrial, farmy, umami, and just a little bit strange. It's just that whiskey funk. We're going to be getting a bit cheesy, a bit lactic. We're going classic with a Brook Laddie. Classic laddie. I know that man who doesn't know how to spell his own name also went for this, but it is spirity, it's funky, and it's pretty damn good. I really didn't connect with this distillery at first, like as a whole, but there's this dude, a legend, Graeme, who convinced me to further explore, and I've fallen in love since with some wild expressions and this staple. Touch sulphury as well. Next, I'm going English again, to White Peak Distillery and their Wireworks and Necessary Evil finish. So this bourbon matured stout finish whiskey is truly unique. Now I love stout finishes from Jameson Stout to Lockleigh Overtone. Oh, and not forgetting my former World Whisky of the Year, Teeling Stout Cask. But there really is something unique here. Maybe it's because it's lightly peated, but I get this strange, almost sour cream note. It's a little dirty, wet, dungy, with some strong, rich cream chocolate notes on top. Maybe slightly fermented fruit and like damp earth. Yeah, it's really a puzzler with a bitter coffee, soy sauce, and just fascinating stuff. So the final pick, it was almost my whiskey of the year for last year. Spoilers, the Wee Brew Electric Coup, but I'm going with something slightly more accessible.
It's most benevolent of you.
The Kilkerran 12. I fell in love back when they had the slimmer bottles, but this is always a favourite and the whiskey that made me really care about the stuff and just investigate it all further. This for me is like 100% fried mushrooms on steak with peppercorn sauce. It's funky, earthy, musty, dirty, and just a damn delight. I've only just polished off the dregs in my last one, but the itch is there now to pop this one as well. Now to Wade, McIntyre's malts. Let's keep this bouncing around the globe. Love to hear your take on this, dude. And let's keep this multiplying. Rick, the Whiskey Zone, also sending it your way, pal, and I can't wait to hear your onions. Check out both of their channels and show some whiskey love. Let me know your choices down low in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, slap subscribe, give it a like, all that YouTube jazz. And with that, grateful to have you here, and cheers to the next one.